Greetings from beautiful Willowbrook, Illinois, home of the famous Willowbrook Bowl. I don't know if there's any bowlers out there, but you know, we used to go there in my teen years to get hammered. And there was a really nice restaurant called the Country Cup. We called it the Country Crust. You get a $3 hangover breakfast. But those were days gone by. That was a long time ago. You know, due to inflation, it's probably a lot more. Anyway, this is a lawn, or was a lawn, that we filmed in Kill Your Lawn, me and Al Scorch's small-scale TV show that nobody can watch, at least not till we get someone else to pirate it and put it back up on YouTube. I shouldn't say that I'm advocating for people to pirate my own TV show, you know, just in case the network catches wind of it. But, you know, it's okay. No one's ever going to be able to watch it anyway because they sold it to cable. So pirating's really the only option. Anyway, this was all lawn in 2023, and as you can see, it's been completely inundated with native prairie plants. And I got here, this is the first time I've seen it in 2 years. I'm completely blown away at how thick it is. The diversity's off the chain. They're going to be burning next year, you know, which is, I think, I don't know how often prairies burn, maybe 2 or 3 year intervals, but the homeowner's going to be burning this. He's absolutely stoked on it. He's a beekeeper. He's got some beehives over there, just European honeybees, but he's, you know, getting honey out of them, actively farming them. And so this place is just loaded, and I've seen some native pollinators here as well. But regardless, the diversity here is insane. He's got a couple critically endangered plants like Iliamna remota, which we're going to get seed from today. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Check out what he's got. So right here, this is Joe Pieweed, Eutrochia maculatum. Show's already over. You can see he's basically got tens of thousands of tiny seeds. That's good seed stock. What I would do if I lived here is bag those up, put them in a paper bag, overwinter them, get them out to people, any you know, other homeowners who want to grow some stuff. We got Baptisia right there, which is in the legume family. And remember that all the prairie stuff is herbaceous perennials, so all this will be dead by November. The tops will be dead, but down below the roots stay alive, and in many cases the roots can live a century. Yes, a century, such as with cases like this with Silphium terebinthinaceum, these massive leaves. This is only a 2-year-old plant. It's got another century or two of life ahead of it. The roots go down 30 feet. We got all different kinds of Symphyotrichums. We got echinaceas. I mean, you can see, look at it. Where'd that, all kinds of cool soldier beetles and other insects flying around on stuff. Tons of echinaceas. Again, the mountain mint, the pycnanthemum and monarda are already done. So those are flower heads full of seed. Now again, all this stuff will be brown and crispy by November. He's already had 2 years of growing and dying, and so he's both built up his soil, but after 3 years he'll probably have too much, so he's going to come in, find a day when it's hard to burn. You want it to be cold, chilly, moist. Look at this massive liatris. This stuff is just doing so well, it's flopping over. It's so healthy, it's flopping over. This is Liatris aspera. Get those flower heads. Related to stevia. Absolute boon for pollinators, the blazing stars, the fucking bangers. So you've won a day when it's cool and moist, and he'll probably, I think he's just going to burn one bed at a time. You can see he's let the Kentucky bluegrass grow, which, remember, Kentucky bluegrass is from Europe. It's not actually from Kentucky. We got Lobelia syphilitica off the charts, absolute banger of a plant. This whole spike right here probably has 10,000 seeds in it, 10,000 tiny seeds, and that's what's made Lobelia so efficient at getting all around the world, from the mountaintops of Tanzania to the Atlantic forest of Brazil. You know, there's hundreds of species of lobelias. The Brazilian ones can get upwards of 20 feet tall. Over here we got hibiscus machutos, which tend to like wet areas, but will grow in areas that are not super wet, as you can see right here. That's basically a dry fruit, and there's tons of seeds in there. I just spilled a bunch of them out. So endless seed sources. And again, you're basically farming seed. We got over here we got some of the cool prairie grasses. You look at that beautiful big blue stem, Andropogon gerardii. This guy's still flowering. You can see those anthers dipping out right there. The brown ones are post. The yellow ones are still actively releasing pollen onto wind currents. I don't really get reactions to the wind-borne pollen. Over here we got the super stunner, Symphyotrichum noviangli, New England aster. When those flower heads open, it's fucking bang. I mean, just the whole wall of pink. Okay, we got Silphium terebinthinaceum mixed in there. This is super dense. right? This is super dense, and if you grow up in a place where you don't see this and you think the lawn and all the plants, all the horticultural atrocities planted on a line, evenly spaced as normal, you would think this is weedy, all right? But this is just nature, and you got to remember they're herbaceous perennials, so all this dense growth will be basically 8 inches tall, when all flattened by next spring if you don't burn. Stuff just dies back down. When you had, you know, thousands of years of plants doing that, that's what built that rich black prairie topsoil. That's the reason the bedrock is so far down beneath the surface. You know, compare that with like central Texas, where the bedrock is only, you know, 18 inches below the surface. Tons of goldenrods. Got more Symphyotrichum right there. Asteraceae. Got one of my favorites right here, Coreopsis tripteris. Yeah, look at it. Coreopsis tripteris. Thing's 7 feet tall. 7 feet tall and multi-stemmed. But, you know, individual stem with the leaves included, it's only about 8 inches wide. 7 feet tall, 8 inches wide. Just get up, get over over that tall grass, so your you know, inflorescences and flowers can get hit by pollinators. More Joe Pye weed, bright vivid pink when they were going off. They're not now. We got Helianthus mollis, which is a woody. It's not a woody, a woolly. Excuse me, a woolly sunflower. You got the hairs on those leaves, banger flowers. They're mostly done. But again, tons of seed in all these. This is a great plant. I wish more people grew this. It seems to actually do well in full sun. I see it more in oak savannas and habitat, but because of all those hairs, it can take sun pretty well. Beautiful, nice chalky mint green color to those flower heads. Look at that. More Symphyotrichum about to blow off. Every one of those little flower heads will be pink. Oh, this too. This might be a cultivar or something, actually. I don't know. Just phenomenal. We got that Hypericum, St. John's wort. The genus Hypericum has like 500 species in it. This is one of the prairie species. This is already post. You can see that's a fruit maturing right there, a flower capsule. The flowers are done. All the flowers on all the Hypericums are yellow. Right? I don't get too jazzed about the genus. I've seen them in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, they're shrubs, and of course you get the one that people use for herbal medicine that's from Europe. That's a little herb. That's the prairie species. We got heucheras. More goldenrods, more solidagos. Not surprisingly, we got eupatorium. Oh shit, cool wasp on there. You'll want the wasps around because a lot of them parasitize pest insects. Look at that. Look at that. Holy shit. I got to INET this later. You know, when you put this in your yard, you create a learning lab to learn about the local ecology around you. I've seen so much cool shit in my yard. All right, probably, you know, 3 dozen species of insects I'd never seen prior to this year. I got 4 species of lizards, 3 species of amphibians. They all help keep the roaches down. God damn, look at this milkweed too. Look at this, another seed farm for milkweed. Look at it. Look at those fruits, about almost ready. And then over here, this is really cool. This is a critically endangered plant. It's you know, endangered due to a number of factors, primarily overpopulation of deer, since not enough people hunt here, and all the predators have been wiped out, and also fire suppression, which has really fucked over you know, the entire eastern half of the United States. But this is a rare plant, and what you got right here on this plant are probably hundreds of tiny seeds. Hundreds of seeds. So he's farming seeds of a rare plant. This is not a hard plant to grow. You just need to give it full sun, and you can't let it get smothered. And out here on the edge of this bed, you can see it's not going to get smothered. Now, to germinate the seeds, you just basically take off, these are the fruits, these little fuzzy shits, take off the fruits, crinkle them up, and then those little kidney-shaped things, those are the seeds right there. Do a hot water treatment, heat up water to like 170. Okay, put them in a pint glass, pour the hot water over it, let them sit overnight, sow the seeds the next day. Maybe they need a cold strat too, and they'll come up gangbusters, especially if you just sow them on a barren patch of soil. When he starts burning, he's going to get volunteers of this plant. But look at that, a critically endangered plant. It's about 5.5 feet tall and almost 6 feet tall. Multiple stemmed, happy as a pig and shit, doing great. Growing right next to the solidago. You get the sambucus in the background, you get the red elder. I think that's just the regular elder, actually, never mind. One of the sambucus, this is an elderberry. Got some weeding to do with the amber honeysuckle. I think this is the only, I've seen one other one. In this whole massive yard, I've only seen one other invasive. He's not getting the amber honeysuckle and the buckthorn, the invasives of the region, like the nearby forest reserves are, because this is just so dense. They can't get in. Once you get this stuff established, the invasives can't compete with it. It's just too dense. All right, you still got to come in once in a while and weed them out. He's got Calycanthus floridanus over there too. which is a kind of a cool flower. I don't know if we could find any, but and then he's got just the nice sumacs, you know, the roost species. You can see they're flowering right there. That's a living bird feeder. Look at all those red seeds. The birds love the shit out of those. So anyway, this was all lawn. It was mowed lawn when we came here 2 years ago. Killed the shit out of it. We didn't even kill everything. You can see we left a bunch. And he just stopped mowing altogether. You could see how tall, I assume this is just, you know, Kentucky bluegrass. You can see how tall it gets when you don't mow it. All right, I think he said he's going to come in and just dump mulch on here later. I would still mow it just because, you know, I mean, I guess some of the insects like it, the beneficial insects, but I don't know, I'm just not a big grass guy. But either way, you don't have to do this. You can do whatever you want. You can keep stuff pruned. You know, if you didn't want this big overgrowth, you know, you're still kind of neurotic, you're on the lawn tip, or you just don't want it, you think it looks messy, you can come in, you know, maybe like a month later, or a month earlier rather than now, come in like August or late July or something. You can just snip stuff off the top with some of those electric hedge, you know, clippers and stuff that looks like an alligator guard. You know what I'm talking about? And then just, you know, it takes 10 minutes, come by, just prune the stuff down. You know, just keep it contained, whatever. I like that he didn't do that. It got out of control. Is this just purple loosestrife? Yeah, he's got one other invasive he's got to rip out, but you could see it's you got the Symphyiotrichum as well. So I mean, he's done very little to manage this at all, and it's full of diversity and it's full of life, and there's tons of cool shit in here, and most importantly, he's got a ton of seed to share with his neighbors or with anybody else who wants to go ahead and do this. And I certainly recommend you do it. He's got a possum, cannabinum, dogbane. You know, that's the thing. Is like you do this, you create a space. You're bringing nature home. You're creating a space to farm seeds, creating a space to look at and study the cool elements of the living world behind you. If you get ticks, you know, he's not going to get ticks because he's going to burn next year. But if you get ticks, you know, keep the deer out, burn it, whatever, keep it hedged. Whatever. It's better than a lawn. I just can't imagine seeing any of this shit, because I see this and I love it because I actually spend time outside, right? I can't imagine seeing this and not wanting it, right? It's not for everybody. You don't have to do it, all right? I'll keep my judgments to myself if you think this is horrific, but, you know, I think it looks fucking great, and I'm all about it. I think it's just, you know, this is what you do. The point is just get people out there and get them engaging with the land. Get them engaging with the living things around them. You learn so much by having all this shit around you, all right? Yeah, look at all that. I'd be taking bags of all that Joe Pyeweed seed and going to put them on fence lines, you know, of abandoned lots, edge of railroad tracks, spots I know they're not going to get mowed or sprayed. The only management any of this stuff takes is just occasionally going in, whacking the non-natives and making sure and leaving the natives alone, letting them thrive. You do that enough, you make it easy, you nurture the natives so that they can outcompete the non-natives, and they'll do fine. So anyway, you know, if you live in the Midwest, don't be afraid to do this. And if you're a little timid, you could start with just a small bed, leave the rest of the lawn, right? It's totally worth it. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a great rest of your day. Learn from this. Don't be afraid to get your feet wet and try this. Have a great day. Go fuck yourself. Bye.